FX welcomes you to Richmond, Virginia and Winston Cup Racing. Tonight, it's the Pontiac Excitement 400 as we get set for a special night of short track racing under the lights. The mood here subdued. Hi, I'm Chris Myers, and thanks for being with us at Richmond International Raceway for the first nighttime Winston Cup race of the season as we get set to go racing. Fans and drivers' thoughts are with Jerry Nadeau tonight. He's in critical condition, is being treated for head, lung, and rib injuries at Medical College of Virginia. His vital signs are good, and according to doctors, those vital signs are improving, and they're quite encouraged. Nadeau is under sedation. He's not speaking. However, his eyes are open, and he is aware, according to Nadeau's team manager, Jay Fry, who was with Nadeau at the hospital this afternoon. Now, it was just over 24 hours ago that Nadeau, driving the 01 car, crashed a practice session. The 32-year-old driver from Danbury, Connecticut, in his sixth Winston Cup season, hit the wall at a high speed. Rescue workers had to cut him out of the car. An advanced life team used a cervical collar and assisted his breathing. He was taken away on a stretcher and airlifted to a hospital. Here's NASCAR Vice President of Corporate Communications.
He is still in critical condition, and they're continuing to evaluate him. He has some rib injuries and possible head injuries, and we're also evaluating for the potential of some lung injuries, but he's listed in critical condition, and just about everybody in this garage area is saying a little silent prayer for Jerry Nadeau right now.
And Jerry Nadeau's wife, Jada, did arrive here in Richmond on a plane sent by NASCAR at about 11 o'clock last night after she attended her grandfather's funeral in South Carolina. Nadeau's parents are with her at the hospital. Let's join now Steve Burns from the garage area with Nadeau's crew chief. Steve?
And thank you, Chris, with Ryan Pemberton, Jerry Nadeau's crew chief and friend. And Ryan, what is the morale like of the team? How hard is it to focus on racing tonight?
Well, it's real hard. You know, it's for selfish reasons. We're going to go out there and put our car on the racetrack today, and it's hard to stay focused. But we feel real good about our backup car, and Jason Keller is going to step in for us. We had a good practice session there. We got about 30 minutes of practice, and I'm optimistic about having a good race today.
All right, thanks a lot, Ryan. We appreciate your help. Back to the hotel.
All right, thank you, Steve. In some very difficult moments, we're joined by Darrell Waltrip, Jeff Hammond. You guys have been a part of this sport for a long time. And, Darrell, your reaction to having to push forward at a time like this when someone close to everyone is battling for his life?
This is the downside of what we do. I love this sport. I love the people the most. And when one hurts, we all hurt. We pull together. We're a family. You hear us talk about that all the time. But the downside is when a driver like Jerry gets hurt, everybody, their spirits are down, but then everybody rallies around and lifts each other's spirits up. The race is going. I'm a team member. I'm a team player. I'm a part of the team, and the team's got to push on.
Jeff, since the loss of Dale Earnhardt 2.5 years ago, NASCAR has made a number of safety improvements, some of which may have saved the life of Jerry Nadeau.
Yeah, I really believe right now that a lot of these safety measures they put in, especially the head and neck restraints, the special headrest, the nets that go along keeping the driver's head from getting outside the window of the car in the event of a driver's side impact, I think prevented a lot of these, maybe a more serious injury to Jerry Nadeau. So NASCAR gets a big attaboy for that, and I think it's one of the reasons why he may be hurt, but I think he's a lot better off than what he would have been.
Former crew chief Larry McReynolds, part of our broadcast team. And Larry, you have experienced something like this close to home. How difficult is it to push forward and focus when your mind may be elsewhere?
I mean, it's very hard. I mean, you want to just load the race car up and go home, and you'd like to be there at the hospital with Jerry and his family. And the biggest burden is on the crew chief because, remember, he's the head football coach. He's the captain steering that ship. But the thing in 1992 when Davey was injured so bad in Pocono, in particular in 1994 at Michigan when Ernie Irvin was injured, the thing that kept me motivated and kept our team motivated is we knew, and Jerry Nadeau is no different, Jerry would be very mad if he knew his team had just rolled over and went home. He wants them here, and he wants them racing.
And that is what they echoed. And, of course, a lot of support, people like Kyle Petty, Rick Hendrick calling to offer their support to his team and family. On Wednesday, Nadeau, whose 01 car is sponsored by the U.S. Army, along with some other drivers, went to Walter Reed Hospital in Washington, D.C., and visited with soldiers who were injured during the war in Iraq. Nadeau, prior to the season, visited U.S. troops in Afghanistan and Kuwait as part of a goodwill tour, and his team manager said that he hoped that the spirit that these men showed Jerry would help Jerry through this tough time. Drivers, of course, trying to focus on tonight's race, but their thoughts are with Jerry Nadeau.
Obviously, everything we think about and do is with Jerry and Jaden Nadeau, and hope everything turns out as best as it can. So right now, you just kind of you don't really want to be here, but you know you have to do it and just go about your business the best way that you can without totally affecting everything that you do.
It is an element of the sport, and we all know that. We forget about it, but it's situations like yesterday that remind you of it. And then, of course, you really don't know how to react or how to act. And but we all feel the same in that we are concerned about Jerry and are obviously thinking about him and his family.
Jerry's a good friend and obviously a teammate. So, you know, our thoughts are with him and everything that's going on in their family, and we just got to you know, go out and do the best we can. You know, we got a race for him. Jason Keller's driving their car. Those guys got a lot of work to do today, and but it's awful hard to also, you know, go in today trying to think about Jerry as opposed to, you know, go down and race. So I mean, there's a lot of things that we have to overcome at the start of this race to get going, and you know, and our thoughts are, you know, with their family and Jerry more so than maybe it is on a race today.
All right, having heard those drivers, Jeff, if you're a crew chief tonight, you have to work extra hard to help your driver focus.
I think you really do, because the safety of the drivers that are out there on the speedway with you, as well as yourself, depend on you being focused on what's going on, because nothing has changed. You're still going 150 miles an hour down in these corners. If you're not focused, it could happen to you again. So you got to be focused.
Darrell, I noticed in the drivers' meeting, nothing was said by NASCAR officials or drivers about this. As a driver, does something like this remind you of the danger of your sport, and do you have to block it out?
When you put that helmet on, Chris, I mean, you go into another world. You go into your own little world. It's private. There's no one there but you. And your thoughts are on driving that race car and entering that turn at 150 miles an hour. And you want to be sure. The thing that you will do, though, is you will check every bit of your safety equipment tonight, closer than you have any other day this year. You'll get in that car and you'll be sure that Hans device is pulling tight enough. You'll be sure that that helmet's fitting right, and that the leg braces and everything else in the car are the way they need to be.
All right, so we're going to shift the focus a little bit more towards tonight's race, obviously, as some of the drivers have Jerry Nadeau on their minds, but have a job to do. And there's the pole sitter, Terry Labonte, as we will continue counting down to the race here under the lights in Richmond on FX. Thanks for being with us. Welcome back to Winston Cup Racing on FX. They've been racing here since the 50s. Still one of the drivers' favorite places to come, and the fans too. 110,000 tonight to see stars in their cars under the lights. Rusty Wallace, he's won here 6 times, trying to snap that winless streak at 72 races. He came close last week in California. Came up and visited the booth. Tony Stewart has won the last 2 Richmond Spring races, but has failed to finish 3 of his last 5 races this year. And the 20 car starting at the back of the pack, but he's done that before. And then Kurt Busch, the only repeat winner this year, starting from row 4, has moved up to 4th place in NASCAR's top 10 point standings. Speaking of which, Matt Kenseth, like Busch, part of Roush Racing, and Kenseth leading for 7 weeks. Dale Earnhardt Jr. closing that gap, though. Bobby Labonte currently 8th in points. His older brother Terry is on the pole for the first time in 108 races. Terry in the 5 car, but if you want a taste of what his car would look like in cheese, here's 3,500 pounds of a car that is made to look like Terry Labonte's. And speaking of cheesy, here's Dick Bergman.
Tonight, Terry Labonte makes his 50th Winston Cup start here at Richmond International Raceway, and for the 3rd time, he will start one of these Winston Cup races from the pole. Who's your toughest competition tonight?
I don't think you can pick any single car out there. There's probably, 12 or 15 guys that really could probably win the race tonight. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
Chris, indeed, it will be a tough race tonight.
All right, thanks, Dick. And you know, we kid because we care. How about this track here? And a veteran showing you how to get it done on a track that is a tough place, but drivers love it.
Well, here's the key right here. A veteran driver knows that you roll out the throttle early and let the car coast down in the corner, if you will, but get it wide open quickly. Young drivers, they want to drive it down there hard and go, and up the hill it goes. And they don't.
What do they do?
How do you do that?
Okay, that sound effects comes with the analysis.
The old guys run off the corner, the young guys run into the corner, and that's not the right way to do it.
This is the only 3/4 mile right on Wisconsin Circuit, so it's not like you get you're used to running a place like that.
It's a very challenging little short track. It's so fast, and the way you transition from the straightaways down in the corners right there, you've got to be very, very careful because you can unload this race car. We're talking about the racetrack itself is a little bit tricky. Getting on the brakes, off the brakes, you've got to be very smooth, and I think that's one of the reasons why guys like Rusty Wallace, Tony Stewart, and here we go, Terry Labonte are so good here.
Yeah, and Tony Stewart has used Richmond as a springboard to move forward, finishing second the previous year. Of course, last year, winning the points championship, and Matt is with Tony Stewart.
Chris down here in turns 1 and 2 in the back of a truck on the parade lap. Kyle Petty and Tony Stewart, both former winners here. You start 9th. Zippy told me you guys made so many changes that was almost a book.
He got out a legal pad that he hasn't brought out all year, and that's the oh shucks list right there. He actually used, I think, 2 full pens and ran them out of ink, but he's done that before here at Richmond, and we've actually I think we did that last year and started from the tail and won, but I think we'll have a pretty good car tonight. It's always pretty good here.
Now you start 9th, but you have Myers a little worried.
Yeah, Myers, what's wrong with you? How come you're always telling everybody I'm starting on the tail tonight? I'm starting 9th. The 20 Busch car last night, check your notes. See, you don't come in early enough to check up on all this stuff properly. We start 9th.
He has a statistician named Patrick Perrin.
Yeah, well, Patrick's going to get fired tonight because if I got to start on the tail 2 years in a row and try to win this thing, I'm going to be upset. But no, I'm excited. I mean, if we qualify in the top 10 here, we normally do pretty good. So if it's all right with you, Myers, can I please just start 9th tonight and do it the normal way?
No. I think he will start 9th tonight, Chris. What do you think?
Okay. No, Tony, it's more exciting. Tony, it's more exciting when you start at the back of the pack, like last year, and work your way up.
Yeah.
Busted. You're busted.
Just give up.
My mistake. Good luck, Tony.
You're busted.
All right, DW, you got to go upstairs and do a little.
Yeah, I'm going upstairs to be up there with my buddy Larry Mack and Mike. But remember, tonight's about finesse.
And we're going to advance the start of the race a little bit because of threatening weather in the area. But we will be back as we count you down to tonight's Busch race here in Richmond on FX. Thanks for being with us. You too, Tony. Good luck today.